Haval The Glen in Johannesburg South, being part of the IPOP Motor Group, is in full support of the nationwide lockdown. And that means before we shut the doors, we've stocked up and are ready to implement the IPOP Group's remote online service strategy. Our staff will be at home, but on call to service any needs of our current and future customers. In fact, we've already booked 2 services for after lockdown, and we've put together 3 deals for 3 separate motorcars from the Haval Group. So despite not being able to go face-to-face or in person with our sales executives, we are online. And we can provide you with all the information that you might need on Haval when you need it. Tyron Alberts, the franchise manager, has guaranteed his services are available 24 hours a day in order to keep the people happy. After all, as he says, we're not just selling cars, we're in the people business. So as we head off into nationwide lockdown, we endeavor and to live up to all our brand's taglines. The #1 SUV in China, and we hope to try and make it the #1 SUV here in South Africa. Go online and browse all our sites. Discuss with David and the team the requirements that you need via phone, email, chat, WhatsApp, or social media, or whichever platform you prefer. Your patience will be greatly appreciated during this process, and even our Group MD, Mayor Benjamin, is available for you. He'll help you drive away in the new Haval as soon as we get back to normal business after lockdown. Until then, we'll see you interactive and online. And remember, stay safe.
So, welcome to episode 4 of Keeping Motorsport Alive. Here are your hosts, Greg Maloney and Gary van der Spey.
Thanks, Paulie. Awesome to be here again. Gazza, how's it going?
I'm well, and yourself, brother?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Been a bit of a hectic and busy off-site lockdown period. I got to say, I didn't expect to be as busy as what I'm fortunately being blessed to be. So, I got to say a massive thanks to everybody, and of course everybody here at Keeping Motorsport Alive for also keeping us alive and keeping us with something to entertain the crowd with.
That's true. And a great job you and the other guys at Solidarityeracersa have done. I mean, congratulations to you all. You've done a fantastic job. And let's just keep it going.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a great one. There's no doubt about it. We'll chat about that a bit later on in the show. Remember, we do have 3 sides to the show, courtesy of Haval The Glen. And it also gives me a chance to invite our guest here this evening, David Venter from Haval The Glen, to come and join us and chat about a really exciting product that is certainly taking the South African market by storm. Dave, big welcome to you, mate.
Hi, Greg. Thanks a lot.
Davey, we've seen with Tyron last week from Suzuki Alberton, and of course you guys are all part and parcel of the same group, the IPOP Motor Group. Things are looking pretty exciting for all the brands involved. I know that there's a Mazda dealership, Mazda Johannesburg South are involved as well, and there's about 4 Suzuki dealerships included. But as we heard last week from Tyron, the IPOP Motor Group and yourselves at Haval The Glen have pretty much stayed online the entire time. All the brands involved.
Yes, Greg, that's right. What we've done is, obviously with the lockdown, we've had to relook at everything, but we've stayed online remotely. So any customers out there who want to buy an Haval or GWM at the moment are able to do it online. So basically what they can do is they can click onto our website, havaljhbtheglen.co.za, send through their details. I will then get one of my sales consultants to contact them, answer any questions they have, take them through the sales process. I've also got my business manager on standby who will then assist with the finance. Once that whole process has been put in place, we are able to draw a contract and the customer can actually sign online. The only thing we cannot do at this stage is deliver the vehicle, which we'll do as soon as the lockdown is uplifted.
Look, I think when we spoke to Tyron last week, he was pretty excited about the fact that there might be some good news from the president's speech, but of course it turned out to be a little bit worse for wear than what we were expecting with the extension of the lockdown into the end of April. How does that affect the sort of planning and your strategy going forward? I mean, you guys must have been pretty excited to get a couple of deals done through this first period, and we're hoping to sort of pass it on, I suppose, to other people and to get their cars to them. How's that now going to change?
Look, Greg, it's made it a little bit more difficult because obviously it's been extended now. But what we're doing with our customers is we've actually brought in a nice cashback for our customers. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is any person who purchases a brand new Haval or GWM at this stage and follows the complete process by signing the online contract, we will give them a 10,000 Rand cashback. We've also
that's awesome.
Yeah, we've also extended this to our pre-owned vehicles. So any purchase of a pre-owned vehicle at this stage, they will then get a 5,000 Rand cashback.
That is spectacular, bud. And I think there's a lot of guys out there that are going to be pretty excited about that, because I know, having chatted to a couple of the sort of the management at IPOP, there's also a big call from you guys to sort of assist people who might have got into financial troubles during this time. And it's due to the fact that, you know, what you've seen as your budget for X, Y, and Z for, let's say, March, April, May, up to June is now gone out the window. So there's going to be a lot of guys out there that are going to need to sort of get rid of sort of vehicles as soon as possible, or try and get themselves out of the deals that they're in. Are you guys going to be sort of assisting with that?
Yes, definitely, Greg. We'll have a look at every deal possible, see where we can assist customers. You know, if they need to downscale, we definitely assist them in that.
As possible, try and get themselves out.
So we're there to help every customer where we can.
Well, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, and I think the customers in general are going to be happy with that. What is the process if they're looking to get their wheels to you and possibly get some a little bit of cash in hand? Look,
we are able to if we need to do a buy-in or a trade-in, obviously we'll need pictures of the vehicle. The price on the vehicle that we give them will be subject to view until such time as we can actually see the vehicle. But at least we can get the ball rolling and the process started in the interim.
Well, that's good to hear. Kind of sort of on a similar vein to what sort of the online magazine and car sales guys would have been doing, you guys are now sort of taking on that strategy as your own, and possibly even given a bit of spit and polish.
Yes, no, we've had to do that, Greg. It's a long time, and we can't afford to not do sales at the moment. So we've had to think out of the box.
Dave, from a support point of view, if there's a breakdown, I know that the Suzuki Group have got with the AA Roadside Assist. Have you guys got something similar?
Yes, Haval is also contracted to AA Roadside Assist. We've actually also got our workshop manager on standby. So if they click on our website, they can get his contact details or send through their contact details to us. And he'll be able to assist with any technical questions to be answered over the phone if he needs to.
That is fantastic. So literally, if you're stuck anywhere when you are driving around, not that you're supposed to be, but there are occasions where people need to get food, possibly medical supplies. I know from myself and my own point of view, the first 3 days of lockdown I spent at the vet, so that wasn't so lekker. But if there is an issue on your car, it's great to know that you're able to sort of get to the people, ensure that they are sorted out by AA Roadside Assistance, because they, of course, are contracted to be out there. If the car is broken down, what's the process that would happen from your side, Dave?
They would have to phone Roadside Assist, and then normally what happens is the vehicle is towed to the closest Haval dealership.
All right, awesome. I believe not only are you working hard online, but I believe you and your team are having a bit of fun online as well. So let's have a squiz quickly as Paul just loads up the video for us, and maybe just pick up on some of the action that you and your team have been doing. Paulie, over to you, buddy.
Of course, we've just got to wait a moment or two while the internet sorts itself out. 30 seconds or so, and we should be good to go.
As I'm sure you're aware, the IPOP Motor Group have implemented a remote online service strategy. And their Haval dealership at the Glen seems pretty strong, led out at the moment by David Fenter. And his leadership is strong. I mean, look at those puppies. In fact, listen to those puppies. It sounds like there's a couple of puppies in those kettlebells that he's using. Man, he's going to need a vet for them soon. They are sick. Fortunately, Haval The Glen is not sick and is still going strong. Stay safe out there, and happy April Fools. As I'm sure you're aware, the IPOP have implemented a remote online service strategy. And their Haval dealership at the Glen seems pretty strong. Let out.
So a quick look at what was going on there. Greg, it's back to you. It's back to you, Greg.
Thanks for that, Paulie. Yeah, so there is. We thought we'd catch you out a little bit there, Dave.
Thanks,
I know
Greg.
that Rob Portman's watching in the sidelines. He'll be on a similar vein to you in terms of the amount of time he spends in the gym. But it's good to see that you can have a little bit of fun too, and keep the sort of customers happy as well.
That's been one of the most important things, Greg, is to try and keep the staff motivated and positive through this time. It's very difficult. So, adding in a bit of fun here and there in between the online work that they're doing has kept them positive and motivated at this stage, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you kind of took the lead there with that little video. I know that Paul's sort of gearing up the next one, but you passed on the challenge, which I think is what's been happening on all of the sort of live stream and social media platforms. I mean, we've seen, I don't know quite how that one works with the eggs, but there's that egg one that's going out. There's a couple of guys that are doing some challenges about a friend of mine actually in Dubai has actually started an online indoor or patio or veranda or balcony running club. And he actually participated and kicked it off with a 42K marathon on his balcony in Dubai. He ran for 42 Ks. I think he transversed the balcony about 2,800 times back and forth to get to 42 Ks. But of course, your guys didn't have to worry about that because they've got a little bit of fun and games that they're going to be doing. So have a look and see what Dave's team at Haval The Glen have been up to. Paulie, over to you again, please, bud.
Is there any stopping the team from Haval The Glen? Paul the Bomber Bester out on the golf course. No, we don't sell golfs, Paul, but we do sell hammer time. Haval Hammer Time. Getting ready to go now to service the customers. Or maybe he's looking to find his inner peace.
Inner peace.
Oh, thank you, Master Shifu. These are very good advice. Now we see if Cameron from Haval The Glen can get her parents right. She working very hard, but needs a little bit more work on the parents. But nonetheless, she got a great double thumbs up.
Awesome! How did you do that? Inner peace. Inner peace. That's cool. Inner peace of what? Assemble.
I'm just not the hero type, clearly. With this laundry list of character defects, all the mistakes I've made, largely public. Yeah. The truth is, I am Iron Man.
Well, it's back to Greg and David for more.
Thanks, Paulie. Oh, well, there you go, Dave. I got to say, you got a really cool team there. They were all out. Brent kind of got me a little bit with the Iron Man, and I certainly hope that he enjoyed being part of the Avengers, because it's kind of what you have to do when you've got the ironing to do. But as I said, your team seems to be pretty much behind you in social, or actually getting down to the nitty-gritty and the business side of things as well.
Yes, Greg, I must say that I'm pretty fortunate with that the whole team works as a team. And during this lockdown period, they haven't just sat back. You know, they've all put the effort in every single day, stayed in contact with their customers. You know, finish sooner or later, and at least then they've got a bond with their customers going forward.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. There's a lot of guys that are throwing out some love your way on our feed tonight. Saying, you know, guys have opened up a possibility of some cash back. My queen is one of them. She actually said, you know, she deals with the leasing and fleet side of things and full maintenance side of things for deals that they put together. So the cash back is certainly going to help. Craig Martin also jumping in and saying, you know, it's great to think that and to see that you guys are thinking out the box. And I think at this point in time, where we stand, it's exceptionally important to try and find some way of keeping your customers happy, first of all, and then, of course, you know, continuing the great service that you would normally give.
No, that's the main thing, Greg, is just to keep the customer happy and to assist the customer wherever we can at the moment. You know, these are trying times at the moment, but I believe if we all just stay positive and motivated and keep in contact with our customers, we'll all definitely pull through this.
No, there's no doubt about it, buddy. Dave, once again, to you and the RPOP group, a massive thanks. Stick around. We're not going to chase you away just yet. I'm going to move on to our second guest. He's standing by on the wayside and looking forward to joining us, I'm sure. It'll be his first visit here to Keeping Motorsport Alive. And it gives me a great pleasure to bring my good friend and my brother from another mother there, from RideFast magazine, Rob Portman. How you doing, Rob?
Again, to you and RPOP group. Hey, Greg. Yeah, all good. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Love this. Just I watch every episode. Watch that car racing thing that you're doing. That's absolute madness. So, yeah, keeping the sport alive and keeping us all entertained. Great job, man.
We're trying hard, Rob. We're trying hard, and of course, speaking of trying hard, you're in a difficult situation, buddy. I don't think a lot of people realize the kind of situation you've got into. Just to give them a little bit of a background and to blow your horn a little bit, because I can. Rob is basically the editor and owner of RideFast magazine. His claim to fame, of course, is multiple Superbike champion in his own right. And after that, got into the magazine side of things and has had a very, very successful career as the editor of RideFast magazine, but also has an incredibly supportive family. And Rob, at this point in time, is actually sitting in his little house in Boksburg, all on his own. His beautiful wife, Amy, and the two awesome kids, Trey and Nova, are sitting in Mauritius on complete lockdown until the 17th of May. So, buddy, first of all, take us through how tough it's been not to be with the family. We'll get into the business side of things a little bit later.
Yeah, Greg, it's very tough. You know, I'm sure you've been through it. I'm sure every parent and father goes through it, where you go, there's those days where you're like, oh, I wish I could just have 2 days break from like normality and my kids. So the first 2 days were kind of okay, like got some rest, and then it just spiraled downhill. I just miss my family so much. But 17th of March, me and Ames made the decision, you know, just before the lockdown came in. I still had so much work to do with RideFast, and the schools had closed, and the thought of trying to entertain Trey and Nova here at home, where Amy and I both work, was like, well, how are we going to do this? I was out testing bikes, collecting bikes, so I couldn't just help Amy. Last year, sometime, Amy's parents, my in-laws, immigrated to Mauritius. A very nice, like, holiday resort type vibe. I mean, it's Mauritius. It's just beautiful. And she hadn't seen her family since we had been there in December. So she was missing her family a bit. And obviously with the crisis going on, she was worried about them. And I just sat down and I said the one night to Ames, well, I think maybe if we can get you and the kids on a plane to Mauritius, because you'll have the support of your two sisters, your mom and your dad there. Whereas here, you know, I can't help you that much. My mom and my brother work as well. So the support system wasn't as good as it is over there. And we made that decision put them on the plane, got them the 60-day most like grace that we could get. And yeah, it was a tough decision to make. I didn't think it would be like a 2-month not seeing them decision. I thought it would be a couple of weeks. But, you know, I speak to them every day, and Trey and Nova are happy. My in-laws are amazing. My 2 sister-in-laws are amazing. So they're loving having the time with Amy and the 2 kids. And yeah, they're loving it. Even though they're locked down there, like I said, they live in a holiday resort. So they've got the pools to swim in, the beautiful weather, the nice, you know, just so many activities to do compared to here where we can't really do much with them here. You know, we don't have a pool. We don't have a lot of things here. So yeah, it's hard. But when I FaceTime them every day and to see how happy and healthy, mainly, that's the most important thing, and kind of out of harm's way that they are, just kind of puts my mind at ease, you know, and makes the missing a little bit easier to deal with.
Rob, I don't think people also realize the story with Nova, being born, the little issues that she went through, and of course the big operation she had at the beginning of the year. So when you're dealing with a virus like we are, that tends to affect those with a lot less ability to fight it. I think the medical facilities, first of all, probably going to be a little bit higher up in terms of their ability to cope if there is any issues there with Nova. But I mean, she's come out of that operation like a fighter, right?
Oh, that's so. Obviously, Nova was born with Down syndrome and holes in her heart. She had the operation, I think 17th of January. She had the open heart surgery. Went in on the Tuesday, came home on the Saturday, and we were like, when the doctors told us she can come home, we were like, don't be stupid. Like, we're sending our child home after open heart surgery after 4 days. And they just said we can't entertain her anymore. She's recovered so well. And came home, and I promise you, Greg, it's like a child reborn. She's crawling. She's just turned into her own little person. She like wants to be involved with everything. And like you said, with Down syndrome, you know, they've got a lower immunity to the rest of us. So that was another factor we had to take in, you know, keeping her here. And in the last couple of days, we've just had the Dis-Chem and the Woolworths, the Checkers, which is a K up the road from us. They've been closed now due to staff members having COVID. So, you know, when it gets that close to you, you kind of think, geez, you know, that's sending them over there, especially with Nova and her condition, was ultimately the best decision. But the videos, I'll send you some. I think I've sent you a couple already, but she really is just thriving, and it's beautiful to see just what a little angel we have. Eh? And let me tell you, Haval created Nova because I've got a H6 from Tyron to use for a couple of weeks. Let Amy have it. Amy was so happy that she came home. We hopped on the good foot, did the bad thing, and Nova was born. So thank you, Haval.
There you go.
And the beautiful H6.
Love your work. Love your work, mate.
Not only good for driving around.
I know Tyron's watching at the moment. So Dave and Tyron, you know, it is lockdown, and, you know, we have been battling a little bit here at home. So if that H6 is available, maybe my queen can get hold of it, and the same thing can happen. You never know.
Hey,
Rob, let's get to business, though.
Dreams come true, eh? Let me tell you.
Yeah. Let's get to business, though. You've also had a tough time in terms of the magazine. Fortunately, your suppliers and advertisers have stuck by you. And I've got to say, hats off from my side for the initiative that you've taken. I don't think any magazine in this country in the 26 years I've been doing motoring and media and motorsport has ever given away a free magazine online to all of their fans, and to build up some new fan base.
Yeah, Greg, you know what? We sat down as a team, myself, Greg Malone. You see, I think of you all the time. Myself, Glenn Foley, Sean Henley. We sat down, and, you know, initially it was, okay, well, we can't print, we can't distribute. So let's go digital, and let's charge like, you know, 35 Rand cover charge, which is the print mag cover. Mm-hmm. And Glenn Foley, my publisher, to his credits, came and phoned us and said, listen, guys, it's tough times. Let's not try and take more money from people in these tough times. Let's put it out there as a free digital. We've got the advertisers. We've got the support. Glenn's very good when it comes to finances. You know, that's my downside. When I get money in, I just want to go sponsor every rider, buy new kits, and do all kinds of things. But Glenn was very good with finances. He's got the backbone of RideFast and Dirt and Trail sorted. So he said, guys, financially we're okay for now. Let's do a goodwill gesture and send the April issues of RideFast and Dirt and Trail out as a free digital issue. And that's exactly what we did. And the response has been amazing. And again, like you said, without those advertisers, had the KTM South Africas, the BMW West Strands, our good mate Greg, those guys didn't. We sent this digital issue out kind of a week before the print mag. So we were waiting for these phone calls of advertisers saying, listen, we're pulling the plug in that. And we've had one or two, obviously, of the smaller companies, which we can't hold it against them. In these tough times, they need every cent they can. But the bigger guys, like I said, the KTMs, the BMW West Strands, the Hondas, those guys have stuck by us. And without them, we wouldn't be able to put that issue out digitally. So really, whoever has looked through that mag, not only don't obviously enjoy the mag, but really take note of those guys supporting us, because without them, there wouldn't be RideFast. And that's going to be the same for our May issue. We're busy with it now. We've sent out rates that are a lot cheaper than print mag. We're going to try and put out a May issue and do the same. Just put it out there as a free thing for guys and girls to enjoy in these tough times, because, for us and for our advertisers, it's the perfect time, because we've got the full attention of the nation. They're going to take note of it, staying at home and paging through it. So let's try and use it, like exactly what the guys from Haval are doing. You've got to try, and what you guys are doing with this whole show, and that you've got to make the best of a bad situation, rather than laying down and die and it's all over and oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's try and think outside the box, which Haval have done. And let me just tell you, when I do buy Haval, which is going to be soon, and I take it in, if there's any kind of problems, I am not going to even try and take on that workshop manager, because this is your blick.
Dave. Yeah, exactly. Dave's going to be on big time, bro. So Rob, so the plan going forward is kind of on the same vein. Another online issue. Is it going to be a freebie, or are you going to have to try and recoup some of the funds?
Well, look, all we can do at the moment is digital. With the extra lockdown, we can't print, we can't distribute. So we had another team meeting today, and it'll be a free digital issue on that motormedia.co.za platform. So it's got our current and back issues, and the May issue. Look, we're going to do the figures. At the moment, we're hoping to get as much advertising in as possible. We've reduced the rates by almost, more than half, obviously, because it's just a digital platform. But to date, we've had over 18,000 people read the magazine. We've got all the figures now from our analytics on the website. So we've got that to offer. We've had the likes of KTM already come in and say they're willing to advertise. Yamaha, Rad, KTM have come in. So all is not lost. So, we're not expecting to get the same kind of advertising that we did from when we printed the mag. But we sat down, we said, whatever we get, if we get 10,000 Rand in, great. If we get 100,000 Rand in, great. But we want RideFast and Dirt and Trail as brands to be visible. And we want to still get the companies that want to be visible in the motoring industry out there. So we're working on the content as we speak. We've got amazing content for RideFast and Dirt and Trail. So hopefully in the next 3 weeks' time, we'll have another free digital platform or digital magazine up there on our motormedia.co.za platform for people to enjoy once again in these tough times.
Well done to you, and hats off to Glenn and the whole team.
Yeah.
Rob, stick around. I'm sure you want to jump into the next conversation that we move in. I've asked Dave to stick with us as well, because Haval The Glen has sponsored tonight's show, and they've also sponsored the coverage of what we're going to put out of it later on with the Solidarity E-Race. So, Gazza, if you want to jump in here right now, just to run through a few things that's been happening with that Solidarity E-Race, and I'm sure Paulie's going to put a couple of the pics and stuff that we've sent in the background regarding that. But the Solidarity E-Race has basically gone, I want to say, berserk, because that's how it is. We literally launched 10 days ago, and I got the analytics and the insights off our Facebook page, the Solidarity E-Race Facebook page, Gaza, and they've gone to over 150,000 post, what do you call them?
Impressions.
Impressions, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in 10 days, bud. That's 15,000 post impressions a day.
That's right. And we're also sitting close to something like 17,500 video views per show.
Yeah, no, it's getting incredible. And I mean, a lot of guys have been doing it in this downtime. I mean, Robin and Donnie were actually chatting about it earlier on in their show, stating, that MotoGP put a big thing together. The MotoGP one actually got broadcast, I think, on Supersport today as well. F1
Correct.
have done one. We've had a couple of guys from our international stables that have gone and done some incredible work all around the world, having some fun games, all online, by the way. And when I say online, I'm talking literally physically a computer game online that looks almost identical to if you're sitting watching the Kyle Army 9 Hour.
I'll tell you something, with some of the angles and some of the shots that they have in the video games, I only wish we could do that in real life.
Yeah, no, listen, some of the stuff that they I mean, I think there's about 39 or 40 outside external cameras. There's 6 or 7 internal cameras that you can go to. Plus there's a pit lane camera, plus there's an outside camera. And then of course there's all the action that's going to go, between myself and Sasha tonight and some of our guests that are going to join us. But you've got the likes of AfriHost, Data Science Corporation, Pure Storage, and NEC that have joined us as sponsors. But as you can see, there's a reason for me wearing this little Team Red Racing hat tonight, because as of this afternoon, just after 2:00, all these gaming boys and girls that are out there that have been spending the last 10, 15 years becoming the best sim racers in South Africa and becoming the best sim racers sometimes even in the world, because we've got a couple that are world class as well, have never really had the opportunity to transfer their skills from the gaming consoles onto an actual physical racetrack. And as of this afternoon, that of course all changed with the announcement that Universal Motorsport are offering the top gamer a chance to do an official test with their Utinga Polo Cup team.
That's absolutely amazing. And to all the guys that are entering, that I wish them all the best. But I just want to give them a warning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've probably seen it, but a certain driver in IndyCar has had his life destroyed by using incorrect language on sim racing.
On a sim racing.
He's had his license suspended by the NASCAR IMSA boys. He's lost his team drive. He's lost everything. So to all the competitors out there, guys, your microphones are live.
Yeah.
Be careful what you say online, because the authorities, all right, not only the sim racing boys, but the authorities like IMSA or NASCAR or MSA or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, could come in and say, sorry, we don't condone that sort of action or the language and that sort of stuff. Your license is suspended. So be careful out there, guys.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. I think the way that they've done this as well with the breakup of the top 100 as of this morning at 8:00, and then a little bit of a sorting hat app that was put together to divide them into 4 heats of 25. That's going to be going out at about 7:00 this evening. It's going to go via all our channels here as well and Keeping Motorsport Alive. And a massive thanks once again to Dave from Haval The Glen and the iPop Motor Group for coming on board to sponsor tonight's editions that are going to go a little bit later on. But just to give you a couple of stats that have gone out there, and I spoke about it earlier on with Rob Portman. He's in the background as well, and he can hear me still. Rob, they've completed over 4,000 qualifying sessions. It's over 24,000 laps of the circuit, which is just over 100,000 kilometers, and that's 2.5 times around the world in 6 days.
And they didn't even get on pump.
Exactly.
You don't even need to train. You don't even need to be physically fit. And it's like, that's my kind of racing. You don't have to be on a diet. You don't have to train. You can just go fast.
And it's cheap. I mean, the entry fee for the race, Rob, was $100. 50 Rand of that went to the Solidarity Fund, which is why it's called the Solidarity E-Race, and it's gone towards raising. And I think at this point in time, I'm standing still to get the exact figures for tonight, but we were close to the 35,000 Rand mark to be given back to the Solidarity Fund to help people in need at this time. That's just coming from 136 competitors that entered. 136 competitors we don't get at national championship level, but
let me tell you, if my mom's watching, Mom, I told you to leave me to play my games, man. Leave me to play my games. You'll never make money from games, she said. Liar. I love you, Mom, but you lied to me.
Dave, I know you haven't really been following it in the back, but it's an exciting format because it basically brings guys who spend their time behind the computer screen or in, and when I say to them, some of them are $250,000 Rand racing rigs that these guys have set up. So it's not a sort of small entity that we're dealing with here. And if you look at it worldwide and just take into South Africa's point of view, that SuperSport have a dedicated gaming channel on their SuperSport bouquet, means that this is becoming a big factor.
No, it sounds like it's huge, Rob, and I'll definitely have a look into it. It sounds extremely interesting at this stage.
Well, it'll definitely give you something else to do other than picking up those big puppies that were on the floor there.
No, definitely.
Gaza, we're going to be moving straight out of Keeping Motorsport Alive, and about half an hour later going live via the Solidarity E-Race format. But, of course, we're also sharing it on all our platforms. Maybe just take the people through how we're going to be doing that.
All right, guys, for all of you out there, what's going to happen is We're going to be going live, as Greg said, in a couple of minutes, a bit later. You'll be able to pick it up on Voice of Choice, on iLib, and on Solidarity E-Racing. So what is happening is all the events that happen from now on, and it goes on for, there's 4 events tonight, different time frames.
4 semi-finals tonight.
4 semi-finals tonight. And they will all be live on there, and we'll also post in a YouTube link for you guys to be able to watch it on any platform you want to watch it on. So as I said that before, live on South Africa, Voice of Choice, iLab, Solidarity E-Racing. And then as well, Solidarity E-Racing has a YouTube channel, which we'll post a link for. And you'll be able to watch all 4 qualifying sessions. And do yourselves a favor, tune in, because some of that action on those tracks is absolutely amazing. You won't believe how these guys can drive these cars at those sort of speeds.
It really is, Gaza. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch how realistic the racing is. And up to when you watch it from the sidelines or you watch it online, basically you're going to be looking at almost like a real feel race that you'd seeing if you'd sat trackside like Rob and I did at the Kyalami 9L. It's the same cars. It's just different drivers behind them. We've got an array of drivers at the front end. If I look at the top, in fact, yesterday the top 10 was split by the same second. They were all in the 1-minute 40s. But by the end of the qualifying session this morning at 8 o'clock, when they shut the servers down, the top 19 are split by 0.6 of a second. So that's pretty impressive times that have been put in. In that 19, there are 5 actual racing drivers, and there are 14 gamers or sim racers.
That's true. And it's absolutely amazing. And just on that, I'm going to a question to Mr. Portman out there, because he lies. Rob, if this lockdown carries on any further, you're going to have to do some bike testing via a sim system.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take people through virtual bike testing somehow. So I don't know how we're going to do that, but yeah, maybe I know there's that PlayStation 4 game. Maybe I can just take them through that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
we are looking at, and I know the team from Supercar Lifestyle are looking at an option to possibly do one with the bikers, because there was a lot of interest from the bikers. In fact, just to give you a heads up, the 2 Veed boys, Martin is just outside. He was on standby because he didn't quite make the top 100, but his brothers made it through. So the 2 Veed boys are in there. So we have got a couple of bikers represented in that top 100, which is really cool to see. There's a couple of karters. Most of the guys have come out of Polo Cup and out of the Formula 1600 category. So we're looking to try and get the real racers a chance to try and beat the sim racers. But it's going to be very, very difficult for them, because with lap times, as I said, from 1st to 19th, 0.6 of a second splitting them, there's not a lot to play with there.
That's true, Greg. And so to all of you out there, lots of entertainment tonight, live on probably the biggest race we have in South Africa on sim racing. And again, the finals tomorrow. Yeah.
Give you an indication, and maybe just for Rob and Dave's education too. The prize fund is 20,000 Rand. The winner walks away with 10,000 Rand and a year's gig per month free data from AfriHost. The second place and third place prizes are both cash as well. Each of the semi-finalists get $500, so that's basically paid for their 7 days of racing and having fun. There are 2 lucky draws for the general public and anybody that was involved in the racing over the last 10 days of 1,000 Rand each. There's 2 hampers, one coming out of Wing Promotions, one out of SLC Travel. There's that TGN racing simulator that will go to the best racing driver as opposed to the sim or gamer. That's worth about 20,000 Rand. Ferris Cars have come on board as well. They are going to be giving a lucky draw winner a chance to have a drive or a ride in a Ferrari. And then, of course, the big announcement from Universal Healthcare and Universal Motorsport for the first and top gamer for an official test with the Utinga Polo Cup team and Team Red Racing. So that's kind of what these guys have been playing for. Now, Rob, you've been around in motorsport for a long, long time. Dave, you've been around in the marketing of motoring. That's a massive prize purse to be throwing at guys, particularly when we're sitting in a situation like we are with lockdown.
It's the perfect time to do it, eh? It's what else are you going to do? I would love to. If I had a PlayStation and that, I promise you I'd be set up. But it's a great initiative. I'm terrible in cars, so I would just probably crash into everyone and die. But if they do a MotoGP one, I'd be pretty good at it. But that's amazing. I mean, I don't even think the real car drivers get that kind of prize purse. So great initiative. Big thank you to all the sponsors, to everyone involved, to you guys for promoting it. And long may it live. I think you're onto something. I think this is going to carry on way after lockdown, to be honest.
Well, Robbie, we appreciate the support and thanks for joining us tonight. All the best for RideFast and going into the end of lockdown. Lots of love to the fam. Dave, back to you just for a final thought. You're pretty excited about the lockdown period and, of course, what your team is doing. But now what's your plans going forward for the very near future?
Greg, we're going to just carry on doing what we're doing. Obviously, we're having meetings all the time to come up with new ideas. And just staying positive and staying safe at the moment. That's what everybody just has to do. And we'll definitely pull through this.
Well, fantastic. And once again, a massive thanks to you and to our pop group for all the support and for tonight's show. We'll let you get back to your family and enjoy the racing in about an hour's time. And once again, to the whole team there, please send our regards. And if they're going to be doing some funny stuff again, tell them to send it my way. We'll have some fun on social with that for sure.
No, I'll definitely do that. We'll definitely keep the spirits high.
Brilliant stuff. That's Dave Fenter from Haval The Glen. Thank you so much, Dave. Gazza, final thought from you before we head off and get ready to go for the race action?
Yes, everybody that's watching us, don't stop. Stick with us, because Greg and I are back in a couple of minutes' time, and we're live until nearly 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, we are indeed. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for the support here on Keeping Motorsport Alive. If you want any information on how to get onto the show, you know what to do. Just direct message myself or Gary, or just get hold of us on any of our respective pages. You're more than welcome to have a bit of fun with us. The platform is, as you can see, we don't have much choice, but we can kind of play around with some out-the-box thinking, as you saw with tonight's videos from Haval. And if your teams or your corporates or your ideas are out there and you want to put them up onto social media, this might be the platform for you, particularly if you're involved in the motor industry or in the motorsport industry. So from myself, Greg Maloney, on behalf of Gary van der Spey, and in the background, as always, our director, Paul Bedford. Thank you so much for joining us, Rob Portman and Dave Fenter. Thanks again for you guys. And we will catch you next week as we come back to you here on Keeping Motorsport Alive. We've got another exciting show to come and bring you, and we look forward to seeing you all. Take care then. Bye-bye now.